all sword-wielding persuasions. Welcome, welcome. We have the grand finals for you tonight. Season 1 of KnightComp brought to you live. This wonderful new game mode. Lots of madness, lots of swords. Not just swords. We've got some guns too. And some healing action. Only a few guns. Only the guns that we like.
Exactly. Only the ones that are somehow compatible with the nature of a knight. I don't know how that exactly works lore-wise, but we'll figure it out, I'm sure, eventually.
Didn't you know that most knights carry around grenades?
I mean, if you twist history a little bit, if you have a game like Sekiro, for instance, people just have guns there, even though it's set in feudal Japan, It gets twisted a little bit. I mean, you could probably make a case for it, I guess.
It sounds good to me, to be honest. As you've heard, it's myself, Gamma, with you here tonight, and the wonderful Cerny.
Hello.
And the gaming meds behind us all, making sure that we're well behaved, seeing all the good stuff on production. How do you feel about this game, Cerny?
I mean, it's going to be interesting. I haven't been following the KnightComp League very closely, but I know that I'm in for something extraordinarily crazy because from the few bits and pieces that I've had and I've heard through contact with Solar or with Logic, the people running the league, there's some crazy stuff that people do in this game mode. And that seems pretty fun to me. I just want to see some heads get chopped off and some people flying across the map using shields.
I mean, we're definitely going to see some of that because we've got some of the premier European Demoknight trimping gods on display tonight. We've got Hopeless Stick Scoundrels and Demoknight XD. It's not a joke, boys. It's a fun but very serious grand final here. It's best of 5 actually as well. Maps we're looking at will be Product, Highpass, Process, Snake Order, and Sunshine. So first to 3 wins will win those maps. Anything stick out for you in those map choices?
I mean, obviously, if you compare this, because this is the easiest comparison to draw, if you compare it to normal 6s, these are mostly 6s maps. Highpass is obviously one that sticks out. We don't traditionally see that very much in normal competitive play. So that could be quite an interesting map to see what people do on. Because as much as the strategies for this game would probably differ from other maps or other game modes, but we're familiar with 4 out of these 5 maps. So we at least will have some understanding of what people might be trying to do. For Highpass, it's out in the blue. I have no idea what's going to happen on that map. I've never played that one. Outside of casual matchmaking, I probably haven't played that map in about 2 years in general, so we're going to be in for a treat with that one.
I think I distinctly remember playing it the day it came out, and I don't think I've played it consciously since then, so...
Yeah.
I'm
not
going
even
to be
that bad of a map
lost.
either.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. I tend to not queue for King of the Hill. Sorry guys, shoot me.
It's acceptable.
So, as I alluded to at the very beginning, it's not just Demoknights. We have a soldier and a medic as well on each team. From what I've seen, the soldiers tend to run different banners depending on the situation. I see, who is it? Hoy is out using the battalion's backup. What do you think would be the strats there regarding banner usage?
I mean, if Hoy is going to be running the backup, then obviously running the buff banner against it seems like a pretty brain-dead maneuver. I feel like it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors sort of deal, right? You gotta adjust your banner choice depending on what the other person's using, because if you're gonna be using a banner that gets countered by the other banner, because there's only 3 of them, you're gonna be caught in the water, and that's something you don't want. So ideally, I can see the other team running. If they're running a banner, they're gonna be running a contra at first. But we'll see, I guess, what they choose. Maybe they can just make it work.
I mean, it doesn't
Somehow.
matter what option you go with. They're all kind of terrifying, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, if you combine it with the fact that you're going to have 4 people with shields charging at you, screaming at the top of their lungs, trying to chop your head off, pretty much anything is terrifying at that point.
I mean, yeah, the very concept of that makes me want to run away from the server right here and now, but I'm okay. I'm sitting here in my cushy seat, watching over everything. The Demoknights are not coming for me, I hope.
We'll never know. These guys are flying about. You might be feeling safe with your free cam here flying across the map. Next thing you know, one of them ends up in your face. Flying around a path you didn't even know they were able to take.
No skybox is safe. Not with some of these folks on display. Odin, I know, is a pretty infamous Demoknight as well. He's one to keep an eye out for. Looks like they're actually readying up here.
Yeah, they seem to be ready to go already. That's quite something. Let's see where this is headed.
Mid-fight.
Alright, we're gonna be having the teams rolling out for the first mid here. Let's see what the strats they're trying to evolve here. Blue team seems to be heavily going for the cliff side while the other team is funneling through mid. And let's see who gets the opening here, who does something. Both teams being very defensive to the start here. Not much happening, just a lot of spam over the middle point, as you would expect when, like, 30%, no, not what I'm saying, 60% of the server is a demo man. That's very understandable. B's finally making a point here, a little bit of a point play, just a little bit of pressure though. They seem to have the ground, the red team. They are certainly pressuring the point a little bit more before there's any sort of follow-up. There's the first charge in by Odin, and he actually manages to pick off his target. Perfectly executed. Very nice charge before he, well, plummets to his death, but, you know. It's a nice opening frag.
It was a nice opening frag, but the counter from Demoknight XD was to simply let that player die and then charge in with their own players, but the point's capture, they're not letting it go here. It looks like Mad and Hoy both want to fight this. They've lost yellow. There's a bit of spam coming out here. Mad trying to spam over the point. It's literally him versus like 5 players. He probably should die. He's still alive though.
He did get out though, yeah. He does manage to live through that. Those shields, you can't underestimate the mobility they give you. It's a panic button, you know? If you have a clear path to get out, you'll probably get out. That being said, he did just get absolutely annihilated. His head has been chopped up, and there's an Uber from the blue team coming out here. They're looking to retake this point. Now in the exchange, interesting air shot there on the Uber players. Red seem to be having the better Uber though, and managed to hold onto their point despite losing 3 players.
Yeah, they just managed to force them back with Thomas's spam from his laser gunnies on Gilga, trying to get the medic. Not going to get it though, and the cleanup crew is going to come through, and Cohen
they
can't
managed
live.
to get him as well. That's
Mad
a clean point flip. Alright.
That was
very clean after Uber fight. Yep, very clean. They managed to clean up all the kills, and now they have the control of the point, and they have the ball's in their court. The ball's in their court now. They get to choose what happens here. How they approach this next fight, especially because of the massive Uber ad they also get because of it.
Yeah, the spam, oh my god, it's ridiculous. Odin trying to
charge in, does not manage to connect his sword, and somehow manages to live for now and get out, which is the most impressive part, really.
I didn't know Extra Shoulder is chasing him through connector.
And he gets punished for it immediately. Can't get followed up here, Odin. He's so elusive. He manages to get away with things that you would not get away with normally. And he's charging in again, does not get to connect on that kill though. At least not initially. Until
there's some nasty pipes coming out there at the same time from Yellow and Hellish. Pretty much double pipe people into oblivion. There's a lot of soldiers in the skybox right now. Extra Solar wants to go in, he's on top of Yellow's head. No,
gets bounced around before managing to take down his foe. Joseph now walking forward, mounting forward here together with Thomas. Ad getting dangerously low in the connector there. He does manage to get out, and Red seem to be able to maybe take the point a little bit back. There's an exchange happening now because of it. And let's see which Uber will be the first to go away, because that's honestly what it boils down to in an Uber exchange. Who loses their invincibility first? He has a banner coming out from the blue team here as well. It's the backup. They're not going to be taking a lot of damage. I mean, I don't know if it provides you with sword resistance, but it certainly provides you with spam resistance, and that's one of the major factors here. There's a lot of explosions.
Cohen dies to Yellow. There's so much going on. There's people all over the map right now. It's so hard to keep track of it all. It's only Yak and Bees left alive for the red team. Bees
which means they did hold on. The blue team managed to hold on to their point. Yet again. It's leaving them with a big ad as well.
And
they're going to be like 40% ahead here.
Not only that, there's only 50 seconds left for them to hold on to this as well.
That's the biggest deal. We'll see. Like, red team there, they gotta get moving. They gotta get moving. Demoknight XC. They gotta get something going here because they're running out of time. They don't have much time back to buy. Which the other team is aware of as they charge in and annihilate yet another foe. Another one soon to follow as well. They did flip the point though for the moment, and that buys them a little bit more time. Their medic didn't die yet, which is they're only saving grace at this point, really. If they can build this Uber and get it out there quickly enough, they might have a chance to win the exchange. Other than that, it's gonna be a little tough. Might be a little tough for them.
There's not very much time left for them to do it though. Looks like they might actually just try and brute force this. 90% he's so close to it. But Gilga has his own Uber as well.
They should get this for at least an exchange. Whether or not they win that exchange depends on how they open this fight. They seem to be very keen on taking the connector concrete site here. Charging in behind. Two people behind. Both teams have now used their Ubers. And it's an absolute mess. Gilga kind of disconnected from his soldier there. Does go down for it. While Hoy is just up in the skybox. Trying to connect the kill on the medic. Does not manage to do it until his teammate comes around though. And it looks like Scoundrels have held onto the point and taken the first round.
That was just an absolute mess during that Uber, but I've noticed what Scoundrels are doing during the Ubers is they're trying to keep as many of their Demoknights out of it as possible. They're trying to keep it on their soldier where possible, and then their Demoknights just charge in as the Ubers end and clean up anyone who's not shiny. It's actually
a very good strat, yeah.
It's a really nice strat, and by keeping the Uber on the soldier, he can build up his banner a little bit better.
It's also a good call, yeah, because normally he would be building up his banner much more slowly anyway, because nobody's taken damage to his explosions, all those shields there, they're negating quite a decent chunk of it, so it's a good way for him to build. Opening frag by Odin yet again on Joseph, and Yellow follows up on Bees as well. Before 2 kills of their own, they bounce back with, and it's just an absolute mess. There's heads being chopped up on either side. However, the medic on Demoknight XD has fallen, which means we're left with an Uber ad on the side of Gilga. And this is also going to be allowing them to take the point here, as they have health, which is something that the red team certainly did not.
They had positioning as well. It was a very nice play from Gilga, trying to stay out of trouble, but eats that pipe. Goes down a bit weak, wants to back off.
Hoy getting taken down on the sidelines, however, he was only really buying time for his team to come back. They still have an Uber that they will probably use to re-push this with, as they did lose the point, but disadvantage. They can't let it tick away, and they're probably not going to, being that these players know what they're doing. All mounting up on Cliff, Hoy jumping in already, Hellish charging in behind, Odin following up, getting a kill essentially. Hoy has managed to pick up his medic, and that's a very clean, almost wipe on the side of Scoundrels here. They managed to take them all down. Thomas, you can try to do something, but he can't do much. That was a great invasion. They were just charging in behind, getting. It was perfectly organized. You're going for this person. You're going for this person. Very, very well coordinated. That was beautiful to watch.
What are tactics doing in my sword game? Brilliant,
it's more likely than you'd think.
Oh, Bees trying to
picking up Bees yet again. And
dude.
Yellow picking up Joseph. IP also going down. He is dead. That's Yak, I believe. I don't have CastingEssentials, so.
Yeah, Joseph, Yak. It's no real difference. But man, Yellow's on a 4-kill streak. That's something I suppose you wouldn't expect, maybe. But because he's living so long, you know, those extra heads are nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah.
Odin going in deep, looking for Bees, not going to get him, but
does
he
not
has
manage
some
to get
friends.
it. Got revenged on twice already, if that's any indication as to how well he's performing currently. That is quite a lot.
Thomas got annihilated.
Very beautiful
Somehow
annihilation on that
lives.
side. And that's going to be maybe a point take by Team Demoknight here. They did manage to take it, yeah. Before the Uber exchange comes in on both teams. And Scoundrel is going to be looking to retake this point immediately. They seem to be in a way better position to do so, as Demoknight is just funneling itself into that cliffside, while Odin picks up yet another kill on Yak. And it looks like they're going to be able to hang on to this point, because there's nothing that Demoknight XD can do to mount back so far.
They all just got very weak, was the problem. Thomas tried to start some aggression off by kind of jumping forward, but there was no real support. He didn't have heals, and he went down really low. Without that soldier behind you, it's hard to do anything. Odin killing Yak and Extra Solar coming in from the
That being
side.
said, though, Yak did manage to pick up Gilga with his charge behind as well, while Yellow's just going ham on Demoknight's backline, killing everything that he can find. That medic pick is going to be quite significant, even though they lost their own. That medic pick on Gilga, that's gonna keep them in the game for a little bit longer, hopefully.
I mean, it's a timebreaker, really. It's just unfortunate that Cohen died as well. But Cohen actually has started to build up a bit of an advantage here, despite actually respawning after everyone else. Oh, the double charge coming in from Yellow and Odin not
did
getting
not connect,
anything.
Unfortunately. Odin does manage to dodge, though, and he picks up extra solar, essentially, afterwards.
No, Bees dies, Yak as well, and Cohen.
Odin comes in for Yak. Oh my lord, they're all dead. It's a massacre. Thomas, the only man trying to do something on the point, but it's just not enough. He can't do anything about the banner that has also come in, and we only have Otto behind. What is he going to do? He tries to get onto the point just for a little bit extra time and manages to get back. Nice shot onto Hoy, though, denying him of any sort of gratification of the end of round here as it enters its final phases. Demoknight have to mount a point push here, and they have to capture this point. As the quick fix comes in from Gilga, very interesting choice. It does leave him vulnerable, but he is dishing out a lot of healing, and it seems to be working pretty well, as he also has the ability to stay with his team. Extra solar, not extra Bees getting picked off. Extra solar gets picked off right after. This looks like another round on the side of Scoundrels.
And it's hard to see at this point what Demoknight XT can really do to turn this around. It just seems to me that Odin and Yellow in particular are just really slamming them quite hard in all of these kind of non-Uber fights. Maybe they just need to take things a bit slower, just go for spam plays or something, I don't know. When it comes to the business of Knights, they're having some trouble.
They're certainly outmatched in terms of their sword play, that is without a doubt. The strategy evolving here from Scoundrels is just, it's bar none. They always have they always know when to go, and Odin is always ready to charge in. He almost always gets a pick off as well, just like right there. Yellow usually his backup does go down while trying to also push. Hoy, though, managing to pick up the enemy soldier, his counterpart, leaving the skies free for him to explore, and also saving his medic quite a bit of headache.
That 5-5 from extra solar. He charges behind the point looking for Gilga, realizes he can't get it, and then it just kind of goes back around through. Yeah, this crit's actually coming out on Otto.
Very interesting play. It's certainly going to allow him to get a lot of ground here, but doesn't seem like any of it connects with any sort of blue player. And the Uber counter comes out on the blue team. They're going to be able to immediately push back and make sure that this point does not change hands, as Bees is caught in a little bit of a pickle there, going down, unfortunately.
Apologies, I might be roboting slightly. I'll try and fix my terrible internet. But Otto actually gets just pumped up into the air and demolished by like 4 players at the same time. And we're in a very familiar situation here with Demoknight XT trying to get the point back.
Odin already charging onto the roof, does pick up Bees. I was waiting for him. I saw him standing on that rock. I knew he was ready to make some sort of play. And he charges onto the balcony to pick up Bees. He basically didn't even know he was there. Nice slowdown pick there. Extra Solar does manage to essentially get mad there while getting absolutely pummeled, spit roasted by Odin and Hellish. God,
here comes the battalion's backup from Cliff with Yellow and Odin dropping down. They've got Thomas straight away. Otto's gone behind them. They're kind of splitting up. They don't know who they want to focus. Hoy in the sky. Yeah,
does get Cohen.
Misses the shot though. Ah, disappointing.
Very, very disappointing. Now we don't get more of those wonderful shots. However, it did work out. The banner was enough to hold back Demoknight yet again, and they are still sitting on a full Uber. What are they going to do? What is Demoknight going to do to respond to this? They have to do something. They have a minute left in the time. It's gonna be rough.
I mean, they have Mad, who's in their face, living on their side of the map for a while there. He's now in the skybox. Odin looking to counter Yak's aggression. Yellow as well, but Yak destroys him. The Uber coming in from Hoy, and Gilga looking to see who they can get. They're going to get Thomas.
They did get him. Yak now jumping back out. Extra Solar in a little bit behind here, a little bit deep. Does not manage to do much with it though, and choosing to back off as they finally clean up the soldier that was left behind them. He did manage to get their medic though, and they find themselves in a very familiar situation where they might have taken the point, but they didn't take the team, and the comeback push is mounted immediately.
Odin's on a 9-kill streak, and they killed Cohen with a pain train. Not even a pain train charge, just a pain train.
It's the train they're running on him.
Well, they certainly are on a train of pain at the moment that doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. They're kind of jumping off cliff looking to see what they can spam, but they're not getting anything. 10 seconds.
Joseph trying to jump in, maybe getting a kill here, not at all. Gets picked off by Odin, who somehow manages to just scale that rock with his charge. And it looks like this is a game over, unless our final player here can do anything, which he certainly did not. That is it for map 1. Very decisive victory on the side of Scoundrels here.
Apologies.
Do we have logs?
Am I present? I am now present. Fantastic. Sorry about that. Internet bugging out. I don't think logs are going to reveal much for this game mode, to be honest. We can see from the scoreboard, Odin 4 dominations, 54 points. I think that's more than enough to tell you the sort of domination that he was able to exert over the server. It wasn't just him, though, of course. Some great play from Gilga and Hoy as well behind him. And Yellow. Just some good team play all around from them.
A good follow-up, always. As I said, they seem to be operating as a very well-oiled machine. They always know where to be at which times. They always have a very well-coordinated attack. They always pick off the right targets. And nobody seems to really, be out of place, ever. Everybody seems to just understand where he has to be at any given time. And that's indispensable for something like this. Really helps you.
They were top of the league in the regular season as well. I don't think they lost a single map. So when you're running with that level of consistency week after week, it stands to you in the big games like this. And they are certainly utilizing the sword better than their opponents on this occasion.
And not just swords. There's a big axe in play eventually as well, and apparently a pain train.
Yeah, I like that idea, actually. Using a pain train Demoknight almost like you would escape in order to capture points and things like that, play on the flank of it.
Especially because you don't really have to worry about the downside as much. There's not going to be much bullet damage thrown at you normally, at least in this game mode. Like, the soldier might run a shotgun, if you're unlucky. But even then, that's 1 out of 6 enemy players that you might have to worry about at all, in terms of the downside of the pain train. So it's essentially just, you're running stock, but you capture faster, and that's not a bad thing. It's an interesting idea, definitely.
Not bad, not bad. So we're moving on to map 2 now, another King of the Hill map, Highpass, which we spoke of so nicely before the game started, as us not really knowing what's going to happen on this map, to be honest.
I have absolutely no idea how they are going to play this map. It's very small. From what I know, at least the main area around the point, it's kind of open, but it's also very confined and claustrophobic. Probably still bigger than Product overall as a map, but the confined space and the limited amount of space that you really have around the point is might make for some interesting melee combat happening. Also, the tunnel under the point is obviously going to be a hot spot. Everybody wants that med pack. Everybody wants to control that, and that tunnel, I think that might be a fun area to pay attention to. I feel like there could be a lot of stuff happening down there.
Yeah, it's going to be a death corridor is what that's going to be. Like, there's going to be no escape from swords in this little narrow channel.
That's a corridor that boys enter and come out as men. There's only going to be that corridor might be the battle royale of this map. Many men enter, but only one will leave, and he will be a lot stronger than when he entered. That's for sure.
Just something I thought about as well is actually rocket launchers are going to be quite strong in there as well. Like, you're
Absolutely.
not going to escape splash damage.
Can't really move. There's about as much space as in a modern day sedan. That is very true.
This is another possible vehicle joke here besides the pain train, the pain tunnel, the pain car, the pain sedan. I don't know.
Getting them all knocked out.
Trying
Trying to keep that train rolling.
Hilarious! Oh my god. I do like the layout of this map, though, all the little kind of balconies and stuff.
There's a lot of potential to trimp off of and jump off of with the charges. Also a few rocks to use to your advantage when it comes to trimping. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Yeah, definitely. It's not a traditional map, so that's going to make for some fun new things to be discovered, hopefully. Not to mention, the little ramps next to the point. Those are perfect for charging off of. Those ledges that the bridge is propped up on, they are. We're going to see a lot of jumping off that, I feel.
Perfect, actually. There's a lot of little ramps and stuff like that around, now that I think about it. It'd be interesting to see.
Let's see, folks. Let's see how Demoknight are going to be trying to mount their comeback here on this second map. Maybe be the first team to ever take a map off of Scoundrels in this entire season. Would certainly be
an nice
upset.
To see.
Yeah, it'd be an upset. Nice to see. And even if they don't manage to win at the end, at least they can say that they've managed to do the thing that no other team managed, taking a map off of the victors. But we'll see. Cards are still open. Nice. It is a best of 5 after all, and I'm going to be seeing how the second map goes as the teams are hopefully looking to get ready.
I did notice one slight change that Demoknight XD have done. Thomas is now on Demoknight, and Yak/Joseph is on Soldier.
Indeed, they have changed it. There was also a round in between where I believe Yak went medic for a bit during the last map, and then they swapped back. That was an interesting one as well. They seem to be very flexible with their team composition here. Either that or they're messing about a little bit. But we'll see which one it ends up being, I suppose.
I'm interested to see, actually, as well, the changes in Medigun that Gilgo was running, quick fix. One crits, I don't think crits will be particularly good for this map, but quick fix could be an interesting option.
Definitely. It allows you to dish out a lot more heals more quickly. Very good way to counter all the spam. However, as we're headed into the first round here now that they've readied up, let's see. Let's see what these teams are looking to do.
It seems like they're favouring the kind of their own left-hand side houses. If that makes sense. Actually, they've both kind of favoured the same side. Extra Solar gets launched into the sky to open this up, and Thomas taking so much damage. Point going on lock very, very shortly as they just exchange some spam.
First frag onto Auto there, though. Boy, getting the opening pick. Yak now jumping in, trying to make something happen. Goes dangerously low, but does not die yet until Hellish comes in and decides that his life is now over. And Yellow coming in right after, picking up Thomas too. Cohen going down too. What a wonderful play by Yellow, just managing to get those 2 frags. And Hoy trying to follow up as well, does not manage to do anything. While Odin, though,
very nice.
Mad Lad, absolutely destroyed.
Getting in there deep. He's trying to get out of there now where possible. Even though people are kind of weak on the enemy team, he probably could go in. Mad gets launched into the sky and tries to surf away. Does so successfully. Odin's going to do the same thing now.
Beautiful surf. Wow. He managed to get out clean. And that's the Uber coming out from the side of Gilga there. They're going to make sure that nobody is staying on this point while Otto is now stuck behind the enemy team. They're aware. They're absolutely aware that he's there, but he might be able to make something happen with it. Odin is going to have a word with that and going to distract him a little bit, and Hoy is going to clean up the kill. However, it might be enough of a distraction to allow them to get the point, and it was.
Apologies for the radio cast they're going to have to do right now. We have some problems with the HUD they were trying to fix on the fly, but we'll call it for you. We'll describe everything that's happening in vivid detail. We're actually back. We're back now. So that was a late response from me. But hey,
the things that matter. That's really what matters. Basically, there was just heads getting sliced off and people flying through the sky.
We're a tiny indie company, much like Valve. You know.
Exactly.
We have about half an employee, and what I'm memeing about Extra Solar gets a kill, but gets cleaned up for his troubles. Demoknight have actually held on to this point for nearly a minute now. It's one of their best performances to date.
very even setup currently as they're holding on to this point. There is a fight now breaking out. Bees being the first one to fall to yellow. Blue team and red team both using their Ubers now. And it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. There's people flying all over the place. It's very, very defensive on the side of Scoundrels now. Yak putting a lot of pressure on that staircase, and Hellish going down. While Yellow charges in and manages to pick up Otto before... Not actually yet dying, he manages to get out. He's in the tunnel, okay. He's actually lived. It's impressive. He lived with about 3 HP and just ran through the man tunnel and didn't die. As
Yak was doing so much work there for them on that little balcony area. It's kind of shooting down at them. They had to get him off.
So much damage, yeah.
And as soon as he was gone, that's when everything changed for them. And once again we have flip-floppity of the point, but Demoknight held on to it for nearly 2 minutes.
That's a very solid hold, even though they're now at the disadvantage and they're gonna have to try to somehow mount a comeback here. Extra Soul's charging in between, below the tunnel, between the bridge pliers there, and managing to actually pick up a frag behind before, you know, trying to escape again. Does not really work when his entire team dies while he's in though, and he gets picked up right after. Otto now also succumbing to a barrage of angry Scottishmen charging at him. And it was an unsuccessful push. They also lost their medic, which is just very, very sad. Very unfortunate to see. So
I feel like with dry pushes like that, it's way too dangerous to bring your medic in on it, because we've seen Cohen die in loads of those situations before. Bees gets picked off by Yellow, but not having an Uber, isn't as important as not having the heals, I think. Because with the heals disadvantage, you're always going to lose really to these tanky boys with their shields.
There's only so many hits you can take from a sword before it's gone. So yeah. Those heals are very important, and Cohen being very aggressive normally doesn't really help. Thomas going in far behind before just immediately getting picked up by Odin. He does manage to force out of Gilga though, which is quite surprising. I don't know what happened there. I guess he managed to force him, which allows Red to now use their Uber a little bit preemptively to probably a force as well, but they will have an Uber to try to just get onto the point with, as Otto goes in behind, and more of a distraction than anything. Thomas going down again, and Demoknight really gonna have to try to make something happen here. They do not manage to step on the point before the round ends, unfortunately, and that's round 1.
Just know they just didn't really have enough presence, I suppose. Near the end, they were trying to get onto the point, but they were way too far away. But this is a far more promising round for them.
Oh yeah, they are performing a lot better on this map already. I feel like they have a chance here to take this one. Absolutely. That was a pretty close first round, all things considered. Compared to what we saw in product, at least. Boy, going in for a high jump already. Already behind. Bees manages to pick him up, and he's alone in that house. None the wiser, and he manages to get it out as well. What a clean play. Well, we saw Yak try to do the same, and failing miserably. Hellish in deep, very far behind on Cohen. Does not manage to connect a kill, though. And Cohen manages to stay alive. Just ever so slightly.
I mean, that's a positive that they haven't been getting very often so far this game. Just getting a health pack there himself, he'd eaten a bit of spam. He's all good. 80% Uber for both medics, pretty much.
Odin absolutely annihilating Yak yet again. In the side tunnel, always ready, always in. Gilga does go down though, and this is going to be an easy flip on the point for Team Demoknight here. While Hellish charges in and just kind of doesn't do much, just dies. But you know,
he fed some damage away.
I guess
that was nice. Oh, I like this idea. They're sitting in the house to protect Cohen.
It's a very aggressive hold. I do like that idea. However, Thomas just a few steps too far ahead and gets picked up by Odin, who is also charging in yet again. Doesn't connect the sword on Extra Solar. Well, he's now getting bombed by Yak, and they use the Uber out of Cohen, out of the house, going in deep now. A solo Uber basically on Extra Solar now that Yak has died very early. He's looking to get Gilga, but he cannot manage to clean up the kill. What an unfortunate push. Now they find themselves on the back foot again. Cohen trying to get out, does not manage. He should have been ways ahead of that when it came to getting out, and now Thomas trying to respond with a medical of his own. gets easily cleaned up. He did get Gilga very, very low, though. That was...
Gilga went down to 5 HP, I think. There.
Very close, yeah.
It was a nice effort from Thomas there at the very end. They just couldn't really get anything done with their own Uber. And then they just got picked off by the swordmen.
And we see Yak trying to just put some pressure in here, maybe scouting out where the enemies are, until he unfortunately succumbs to his own hubris. Now we have Otto trying to follow up, maybe get in a little bit, gets picked off by Hoy. And all of these scouting missions don't really seem to be working out very well for them. Yellow, going after Thomas here, does manage to also clean him up, and we've got bees in behind. Doing something, getting spammed out by Hellish. We'll see, I mean, they know he's there. They're very well aware that he's also basically on death's door, and not going to be threatening them for at least a few more seconds. But we'll see what he can do. Hoy seems to be none the wiser about his existence, so could be interesting. But Hellish, though, coming in to clean up the scoundrel that is behind, even though he's on Team Scoundrel, but, you know, they're messing around. Well, that distraction play didn't seem to really work out well for them now, did it?
Oh no, Odin is murdering him so hard, and Cohen does die. Hoy hunts him down. Oh, this is terrible. Odin's on a 9-kill streak with 4 dominations, man.
This is just painful to watch, almost. But only almost, because it's also interesting to see how one man can be this good with a shield and a sword. He's not even using grenades either. You know, most of these other Demoknights, they're at least running some sort of primary. He's just fully dedicated to the Demoknight, and he's absolutely destroying.
He's terrifying. Oh, the shield bash. Oh my god, he's still alive.
He just doesn't die. He just does not die. This man might actually be immortal. He might have signed a deal with the devil and sold his soul for the ability of just never dying in this video game, because he's certainly doing it right now. Beautiful trimp in, manages to get bees with it, and Demoknight find themselves on the back foot here yet again. They have to make something happen. They have about 10 seconds left, and it's not looking like it's gonna happen, as Odin is just reaping havoc onto the red team here. Yeah, trying to do something, getting shut down immediately. Now Odo and Thomas both in, not getting much done, unfortunately. And that's a second round.
Okay, well, I quite liked what Gilga was doing there. He was not sharing his shininess with everyone else, but he was taunting with the Amputator, healing everyone at the same time, which ultimately probably is better, I think.
Well, we'll see how this third round goes, as maybe Demoknight will use the momentum that they had for a split moment in the first round to try and mount some sort of comeback here, as frags are being exchanged. Bees and Hoy falling on either side. Now, ooh, they're actually getting a lot of frags onto the Scoundrels here, and they seem to be able to take this first point very easily.
Oh,
as
Yak!
Yak is still in behind and manages to pick up Gilga. And Odin as well. That's basically their combo destroyed. And he gets out with his life too. Hellish now the only person alive.
That was great stuff from Yak. That's why they have him on Soldier.
He managed to get behind there very easily. That's a first point on the side of the Demoknights. XD, as Hellish goes in behind, trying to wreak havoc on their backline, and Cohen getting absolutely destroyed by a double donk.
Just random spam through a window, but perfectly timed as well from Matt. That's amazing. Great stuff.
They do manage
to
second. Pick up Gilga in exchange, though, so not all is lost, and they wipe the Scoundrels yet again.
Brilliant. Well,
what a play!
We were
Nobody got to see it.
Bit, but everything is now working when we bring it back. I hope our voices were enough to describe all of that wonderful stuff.
I tried to keep track of most of the important things happening. Now, as we get to actually see what is happening again.
You're great. You're a great caster.
I'm trying. Alright, we have a fight here in this right side building again. The entirety of Scoundrels just looking to funnel through that door, potentially. Yellow charging in, managed to pick up Otto, as half of his team managed to just get sent into the stratosphere. So, they're holding a lot better here already, and Odin trying to make something happen does not happen, as Bees goes down, unfortunately, and Yellow gets away with it too. What a smooth criminal. He even surfs away. just style on his enemies.
Now it's Yak on the 7-kill streak. Both teams' carries showing up in this map.
That's a quick fix we were coming out from Gilga there, though. That early medic pick did not do much for them. However, they are going up against an invulnerable wall of Uber here, which they can't do much against except for run away from. And hope that the post-Uber fight goes better, which seems to be the case. It's going very well into their favor. Cohen also falling on the side of Demoknight XD, and Thomas being left in behind. Probably not aware of his presence just yet, and he might be able to make something happen here. He does not. He gave them a certain scare, and that's maybe that's all they needed. The morale boost.
Yeah, no, that was... He was so close to getting Gilga. I think he had used his charge. Gilga's actually dying to the spam, never mind. Great spam from Auto coming in through the window. And now it's just breaking down. There's people everywhere. It seems like Demoknight XD were getting the better of it, but Caster's Curse, they lost Yak and Bees at the same time, and now they're just kind of chilling.
They just kind of have to play the heals here, and then they should be able to get onto that point and, flip it for some more time. They have the time advantage still in the bank, as Hellish just flies in behind them, and the distraction play perfectly worked out into their favor as the banner comes in and it's collapsing. Cohen is dead, and his entire team is on very, very low health here, just trying to stay alive as Hoi is laying waste on them with that laser pistol.
I'm interested why they use the Cowmangler, actually.
Probably just to avoid having to deal with any sort of ammo, I guess. I mean, I don't know, the charge shot might be useful because you don't have fire resistance as a Demoknight. And it allows you to spam more,
true, yeah.
It's a very spam-heavy game mode, so being able to spam without having to really worry about your ammo might be a good choice, as we see Extra Solar just get sent into space from a charge. And Cohen going down yet again to Odin. I sound like a broken record at this point. Cohen dying to Odin is it's a very common sight.
It happens most fights, let's be honest, at this point. But it looks like, despite Demoknight starting this round really strongly, homeless scoundrels are just about to overtake them on the clock again. It's 2-0 to them, so one more map win will be enough to give them their second map win of the night. They only need 3. Extra Solar coming in, trying to get Hoi. Gets Hoi, dies for his troubles, the point switches over. They're looking to see what they can get, and what Yak can get is Gilga and Yellow coming in really
Very
hard.
clean.
Mad trying to get away, does get away. And that's a decisive point victory.
That's a decisive flip right there. Yeah, they have a big ad now to play off of, and as long as they play this hold right, they might just be able to take this round. Honestly, this is going to be very close, but if they play this right, they could very well take this round. Hellish going down, very nice hold there on Thomas, making sure that he does not get in and does not get what he wants to get. And Odin charging in on the other side does get piped by Autodo and cleaned up by Extra Solar, as they also clean up Gilga yet again. Yak with the, I mean, it wasn't Uber, but still, they managed to pick him up and just secure the fact that they will hold on to this point. As long as they don't let Hoi do any sort of cheeky things now, as they did not, they could have this in the bag.
I think Hoi would have been better
them,
served maybe waiting for his team to come in. Hellish actually missed the point. He was trying to charge onto the point and completely misses it. And that's the first round win of the night for Demoknights.
It is indeed. This is going to be a closer map than we saw in the first one, and that's great to know. As they are charging out into the 4th round of this map now, basically the entirety of Demoknights going onto their right side, while the other team has decided to go for an even split. And we'll see how this evolves into the first bit here. Hoi jumping in already, juggling Yak, and Yak going dangerously low. However, Extra Soul is going to be the first person to die to a charge by Yellow, and Hellish coming in with the pipe launcher gets Cohen. What a beautiful, beautiful play, and also managed to clean up Otto while dying.
Oh, Thomas is on the Gilga though, but he's lost him. And now Thomas is just trying to get out of his life. He might do it, he's giving him a ring around the rosy, but Mad cleans him up with that fabled the taunt as well.
Fabled pain train. Even taunts him for the extra BM. I love to see that. As Odin just charges through a door and manages to pick up poor Yak, who was happening to walk through that door at the same time as he was charging there. But hate to see it, but that's how Demoknight works. Sometimes you charge a random door and somebody happens to be walking through it at the time, and They're unlucky.
Bit unfortunate, but he's back up now, getting the heals. Extra Solar is getting murdered in the corner over here by 3 different Demoknights. Odin, the one getting the kill. Yak is trying to get in onto Gilga. Otto as well. They're just trying to do some distraction plays, and they forced the quick fix.
They forced the quick fix out of them, which is, I mean, not necessarily particularly important, but it's certainly going to give them an advantage head into next fight, as they are getting very close to their own Uber, and going to be looking to flip this point back into their favor, as they have yet to put any time onto it.
With all we were saying positive about them last round, it's just not working for them this time around. Things just aren't working. Extra Solar is just going to charge through. Odin will pick off Otto. The Uber going to come in now.
Lordy. Oh lordy, Extra Solar gets picked up behind, and Bees gets picked up by Yellow, who managed to slip through. However, they do get Gilga with the Uber, I guess.
Oh, they're all dying. It's
as
an
they
absolute
lose all
massacre.
of their players.
Just the only people who didn't die during their attempted push there were the people who were being Ubered, and then they all just sat in the valley and got absolutely annihilated. Oh, that was messy to watch. 1:10 left for them to make something happen here.
And Scoundrels, they know they can take their time. They're taking their time trying to recollect themselves. Extra Solar going in and getting absolutely denied. And Mad, just very aggressive. He donks Cohen! And dominates him with that donk. What a beautiful, beautiful pick on him. It was just a little far forward. Nobody was counting for him to be in that underpass, and he managed to pick up Owen. As they
does get Gilga though.
Take the point back, even though they lose their medic. Well, well. Well, well, there might still be a chance here for Team Demoknight XD. They're gonna have to move mountains for it to happen.
Just a reminder that this is best of 5 maps, so they do have one more opportunity if they do lose this round to start winning maps. But of course they want to win this round if they can. Yak almost dies, so weak. Gonna need an arrow, but it doesn't matter. Hellish is onto Cohen at the moment. Cohen does live. There's a bit more fighting going on. Extra Solar dying as well. The denies coming in hard here from Hoy. Mad and Hellish both die though at the same time. But it looks like Scoundrels have the point. Is there anyone who can challenge them?
They have a banner too, and that's not gonna be good for Team Demoknight XD here. That banner, they're not gonna be dealing much damage to the blue team, and this is gonna be a tough one. They might have a chance at flipping the point here, as players are falling on both sides, and Odin is still being tanked and just not dying. He goes so low. They drop Cohen with yet another donk. Mad just laying down these donks on Cohen. The quick fix comes out from Gilga now, and they're going to be safely taking this point back. It belongs to them, as we get an air shot onto Yak to finish off the round.
Just a casual air shot, you know. But man, that's the second donk drop he got in that game as well. That's amazing. Great stuff from Mad.
He might be a mad lad with the donk, you could say.
Well, hey, nice memes.
Hey, I'm on fire.
Yeah, that was, I have to say, I wasn't expecting Highpass to be quite so mental as that was.
Yeah.
But that was crazy. Just people going everywhere. And it was nice. It was nice to see
was quite interesting.
Demoknight, they're starting to warm up, starting to feel themselves maybe a little bit. Yak starting to pound the game hard. But will they be back up enough in time for the next map, which I believe is CP Process Final? 5 CP
is
map.
Indeed. 5 CP is a little bit of a different thing with this, because as we know with King of the Hill, and pretty much any map that has a control point, is people are going to have to stand still in that point for a while, which makes it very susceptible to spam. On King of the Hill, that's fine because there's only one point. Not so much here. You're gonna be standing still much more in these maps. So maybe we're gonna see a little bit of a changed strategy from some of these teams.
There's certainly a different flow, I think, if nothing else. 5 CP does tend to be a little bit more stop-start in normal 6s. Normal in quotation marks. But when you just have 4 maniacs with swords and shields, I mean, do those notions really stick around? I don't think they do.
Who knows? Who knows what we will see? As far as I know, and I know this because I I watched Solarlight do this at LAN twice for the past 2 years. There's an extremely fast rollout you can do on this map as a Demoknight, and we'll see if any of these players utilize that to their advantage. Because you can go insanely quickly as a Demoknight, on Process specifically. And I'm interested in seeing if we're going to just see people flying across mid at the speed of sound immediately as the round starts, because I sure hope we do.
Yeah, that's one thing about Process that I suppose you wouldn't think about unless you're a Demoknight, but there are a lot of ramps. There are a lot of ramps all over the map, in fact. Particularly around mid. The mid is just basically one giant ramp. Everything is a ramp. Everything can be jumped off.
The only flat ground is the point, matter of fact, pretty much, yeah.
So there's plenty of scope to do some crazy, insane things. I just saw Bees do one there in pre-game, actually. Just casually, you know. Surfing through the air.
Yeah, getting the warm-up in. You gotta practice the rollout. It's not something standard like a standard soldier rollout, you know. You gotta maybe get it into your system a little bit, that you're gonna be dealing with a different movement mechanic here, but we'll see what we can do on this what we can see on this middle fight, because there's gonna be lots of rocks. There's gonna be lots of people flying. I know that much, and hopefully there's gonna be lots of fun plays to watch as well.
Normal Process is just boring, you know. Why
it gets
watch
very samey, yeah.
Why watch like soldiers and scouts being healed when you can watch 4 demo men in the sky, you know?
Certainly is a different change of pace, yeah, without a doubt.
I'm interested to see, actually, in particular, if Odin continues to stay with his, you know, the straight-up Demoknight build, because having that extra spam could be pretty nasty on this map in particular.
Not just that, but it is potentially also extra mobility. That extra air you can get with, like, say, loose cannon, overcharge jump or something like that, it's not to be underestimated. That's a lot of extra air that you can get out there. And maybe he will change up his strategy, maybe he will stick with the Demoknight. We'll see, I guess. He looks probably to be sticking with it, but, you know.
I just watched him go from one team's choke to the other team's choke in about a second, so he's just done it again there now. It's just, actually, it was hellish he did it that time. We lavish so much praise onto Odin because he just seems to be the one getting the flashy kills, but his team are more than capable of doing it as well as we are going to go live. Let's see what rollouts we can see.
Exactly, this is the interesting part, because as I said, the rollouts on this map can be very, very quick when you have shields, and if anybody's doing them right, nobody on Scoundrel seems to be really looking to do one of those. Matt being the fastest one, using those loose cannon jumps to jump over, as the enemy team on Demoknight XD being overall probably a little bit faster with their rollout. Getting a little bit more condensedly, and allows them to take a little bit more ground as Yak gets destroyed by Odin though. What's this, a Demoknight on the ground? Not here. You have the high ground on a Demoknight, that's only making you more vulnerable.
Oh my god, Odin just got destroyed by Cohen. Or the other way around, sorry. Cohen got destroyed by Odin. Odin on his 3rd kill. I liked what Yak was trying to do there on Demoknight, like just trying to get aggressive, but when you have all these Demoknights saving their charges, they can counter aggress on you so hard. There's people in all of the skyboxes right now. What's going on?
Flying all over the place. Odin trying to aggress really hard there as the other team falls back through their 1s and 2s here on Process, and they just cleanly take that 2nd point as well, as if it didn't even exist. Otto being very aggressive in lobby here, looking if he can maybe get a cheeky pick or two. Not going to happen, as he manages to get out with his life though. Wasn't really getting pressured. The quick fix came in from Godo during all of that, by the way, and there's a fight for the final point already happening as it commences, and it's over. That was very fast!
Mad was on the point doing his best. I'm a scout demo man impressions. Just trying to back cap. But, oh, what's this? Oh. Yeah, I know, there's more on Scoundrels than Odin, but Mad in particular was doing some crazy back cap stuff in front of their faces using his lavished pain train. It looks like Hoy is trying to get aggro on the right hand side as we get another mid going here. Yak trying to get aggressive as well. not much really going on here apart from Hoy getting really weak. Most of Demoknight seem to be trying to get some positioning here, but they don't really have anyone on high ground. They're going to start losing
Extra
people.
solar.
Gilga dies to extra solars. Bash.
Gilga there, right? Yeah, wonderful. Just saw the window that he had and used it immediately as he now gets cleaned up. But that might be enough for them to take this point, this mid, and make it work. As Scoundrels just have to back out now. There's nothing much they can do. They just have to see if they can maybe hold this point. Mad being very aggressive, but he's not going to be able to do much except for spam the point a little bit before having to escape with his life.
It was interesting, you know, their approach to that mid was essentially the exact same from both teams, but Extra Solar crucially getting that kill onto Gilga means there was no heals, and the Demoknights couldn't really do anything. The Uber coming in here, looking to see what they can get done onto balcony as everyone tries to escape from one. Cohen has 2 Demoknights behind him. I don't know if he realizes Mad's gonna kill him with the pain train.
With the pain train! And he's okay, I was about to say, he's still alive. There's no way he lives for that long. They managed to hold that Uber off very well. That was beautiful by Scoundrels.
Extra Solar! It's another bash!
Very well. However, Extra Solar getting the bash on Gilga yet again, that side turn is not to be underestimated. He will bash
where
you.
He was? I think he came from sewers or something. Odin gets the final kill onto him.
But you know, he just came in somewhere, went for that shield bash, and decided that his work was done. My people need me, and that's all he needed. Boy, being very aggressive here on the mid, just seeing if he can maybe get some early info in and maybe some spam. But ultimately, he's gonna have to collect back with his team as 3 players of Demoknight XD are now going through sewers, while the rest of the enemy team is sitting in choke.
We truly see things in this game mode that you never see in process. Stacking sewers like that.
God.
Oh no. Well, Gilga died as well, to be fair.
He did, but oh jeez.
Oh, the back cap.
There is a back cap coming through by both Yak and Thomas there, though. And Hellish being the only one to respond immediately. Now Hoy coming back to help him as well. Thomas already behind on last.
Sick pipes from Hellish.
He fought it to be done. And that might have been the thing that screwed them over in the end. Thomas left the point looking to backhap last, but it was just a little bit too invested. Should have maybe made sure that they secure that second point first, as he's now behind, trying to maybe just kill anything. Gets a little bit of a cannonball on Odin, but he's not really doing much beyond that, and he's probably going to meet his untimely demise within the next second. There you go.
The one thing him being up behind did, though, was Gilga was terrified. He was absolutely terrified to go anywhere. He had to wait for people to respawn before quick fixing with them to join the rest of his team. So that's actually slowed down Scoundrels a good bit. And Demoknight can hopefully now, from their perspective, get sorted here onto the point with a decent hold. The quick fix ad for Gilga means he's going to have very shortly. But Cohen isn't far off having his own stock Uber as well.
As we see, Scoundrels getting very close in choke here now, with 2 of their players also through IT. Getting pummeled though, and Mad does go down for it. He trades with Otto, essentially, and there's a quick fix now coming through the choke here, as Odin leads the charge onto Thomas, and Hellish coming in to force Cohen, essentially, who is left alone, with Bees being far from pretty much the entirety of civilization in this map. He does get onto Gilga, but he's not going to be able to pick him off.
Hellish is in so deep on last, trying to finish the kill on Cohen. But I think Cohen, you know, when you're against quick fix like that, it doesn't matter what game mode it is. If you have stock Uber, use it in the face of a quick fix, I think. He ended up dropping a lot of players.
Held on very long, and that was what ended up screwing them over. They still didn't lose the point just yet, though, as we see Thomas and Otto both trying to make something happen here. Even just distracting for a few more seconds, buying time for their own medic to respawn. As we now see a cap coming through, and Scoundrels being very aggressive here. They know they've got massive advantage with that quick fix to begin with, but also because of the fact that Cohen died very recently, and 2 of the players on Demoknight still being down isn't helping either, as we now see them come into last, flooding in. There's charges all around. Mad being the first person to actually fall to Thomas, though, and Extra Solar following up with a death on his side. Very even fight so far. Not much happening. People are being very passive. Charges. Everybody's just waiting for the charge cooldowns before they engage, which is very smart. But it creates some dead air in between where people just kind of look at each other. Cohen does die though within that exchange. It's not going to matter much because his entire team is essentially dead. Extrasol trying to buy time, taunting on the point because he has decided that there's nothing he could do, dude.
To be fair, he did actually buy maybe an extra second or two there. And of course infinite style points, and you can never shortchange the style points realistically. I find it interesting actually, you know, the fights tend to be kind of stop-start because, as you say, they're all kind of waiting for the charge cooldowns to come back.
There's just some wonderful dead air sometimes with this thing where people just kind of like look at each other waiting for their shields to come back. As we see, Hellish just flying in through the enemy's choke here. He's behind, he's in sewers, and they might not know as he now comes in, trying to make something happen onto Bees or Cohen. Getting Cohen very low as he's now fighting Thomas in sewers and managing to hold him back. He's onto Cohen yet again. Cohen getting dangerously low, but not managing to die to him. Just now getting cleaned up by Hoy as throughout the rest of the fight, Gilga also died. Is it going to be enough for either team here to actually capture though? It's very scrappy. It's basically just a Groot keep at this point. Nothing
Yellow
much happening.
wins his 1v1 with Thomas there, and because of that they're going to be able to cap this. They know Bees is behind and they clean him up. So now it's just going to be a point capture for Scoundrels.
Alright, well let's see if Demoknight XD can hold the second point here. They're certainly not in a very defensive or collected position right now, Extrasol being very far ahead there for a moment before choosing to get out, and Yak getting annihilated for his aggression. Hoy having a very clear route here as well, trying to maybe pick off Cohen, cut him off in some way before he gets into spawn, and he does! And that's a clean one. They did get Gilga throughout that. I don't even know who got Gilga in that. Somebody must have been behind. But is it gonna be enough? Probably not. We'll have to see. As we head into the final point.
Having Gilga down at the very least, Mad is just kind of standing in a corner, but I was going to say that Gilga being down at the very least slows down Scoundrel's eventual push here. But they are just killing people. Yak, Extrasol, or Thomas, they're all dead. They could just try push this.
Yeah, they just win via DM, and it's enough for them to just get a player onto the point and capture it off. They have the charge ranges down. I think what we saw happen there is just they baited Demoknight XD to charge into them and just stood far enough away for them to deplete their charge without getting hit. I feel like that's what happened there. They just baited them out and then just went for the swings on their own afterwards. It was enough to make them win. Hoy with a very fast rollout onto the enemy's pack though. Extremely quick to mid here. Does not manage to do much with it except for slow down Yak, but still very, very nice to see that he was at mid so early. As we see Odin flying across, trying to just pick somebody off who does not manage to do anything with it, and Scoundrels are just falling. They're crumbling right now. That was a very clean mid by the side of Demoknight XD as they have their Uber already headed into the second point. Hoy's still behind in sewers, looking if he can maybe do something. He's going to get cleaned up very quickly, and Mad now coming into the midpoint, also getting dangerously low. But
it was nice to see. It was nice to see the different mids coming out from Scoundrels, but I think if it ain't broke, you know, don't fix it.
It clearly didn't work for them, yeah.
It didn't work out for them. Hoy's damage has been a big part of why the Demoknights can do stuff. Cohen just used. Apparently, I just saw his meter going down. Yellow's in his face. That's why.
To get into last here or something. They used their Uber to get into last before they even capped mid, just to push back the team of Scoundrels. Interesting play. I don't think that's going to work out for them as they now have no medic. They did cap second. They're going to have to back off with basically nothing they can do before they manage to get their heals back up. Scoundrels being very slow on this push out though, despite having a clear advantage, and they should have just taken that point. Now finally mounting some sort of a push here, some semblance of a push as Mad goes dangerously low and gets picked off. Followed up by a kill on Yak by Yellow and Mad. Odin charging in, trying to make something happen here as he finds himself between 4 players. Does kill one of them. And gets out with his life.
God, that's so close. Extra Solar's actually going to die. Stayed in too long. It's just very back and forth at the moment.
Alert. Our control point is being captured.
They have to back out here. They lost too many players on the last push, and Demoknight XD having to back out to mid. Just giving up this second point as they might try to hold this. They're very aggressive in IT. Maybe even looking to repush. They do have an Uber up, which, given the fact that Scoundrels are still running Quick Fix, is going to give them an advantage in this fight. But only barely. Thomas does get Hellish on the flip side behind as he was not getting healed. And it's not going to be enough when Yellow is here and says, "Hello, I have a sword. I will cut off your head." Because you're no longer invincible. You don't have sword resistance. You don't have it.
Yellow is now on 5 heads as well.
He is going to be going zoom. He's going to be zooming across the map even without his charge and taking more of those, maybe.
With a full buff, he's sitting on about 320 HP. Gilg actually only just survives an assassination attempt from Thomas. And they're going to get the point back.
So they now push forward even more, and Demoknight just have to back off more. They seem to be out of the water here, fish out of water. They don't know how to respond to this constant aggression with the quick fix as well. Coming out yet again, and just getting absolutely destroyed by Yellow. He's pulling a lot of weight right now. On a 7 kill streak now. Picking up another 2 players, and he's about to fight Thomas, who does get the jump on him, but it's not going to manage to kill him. And Yak trying to get Gilga here, gets him very low, but ultimately cannot commence the chase fully. With Beast the only player
nice
left.
Work in that fight as well. Actually, if they lose Beast here, they might be in trouble. Hellish trying to get... Well, Otto trying to revenge his fallen comrade, but there's just an awful lot of death.
It's just death after death, revenge after revenge. Extra Solar trying to camp here, maybe get a little bit of a jump or a flank on. Cohen getting destroyed by Odin yet again. Extra Solar getting cleaned up right away as well. It's just Bees and Otto left right now. Bees falling, Otto being the only player on his team alive on the point at the moment until Otto comes back in.
4-0 now to Scoundrels. One more round win and they would have won the grand finals here with their 3rd map victory. It's hard to see where Demoknight XD can come back in this one. They were getting there slightly at the end of the last game, but things are just falling apart for them at the moment. Hoy again, very fast.
Extremely early on the spam into choke there. He knows that most of his enemies will just have to walk, and there's not much he can do. Yak getting nicely airshot there, just juggled around. Not much he can do when his momentum is cancelled like that. And they're going to be taking it very passively in general. Very passive fight so far. Cohen being the first person to go down to a donk from Mad yet again. And Gilga getting destroyed by Bees, who just slips through. Frags being exchanged on either side here. But who's going to be the victor? It's certainly not going to be Yak as he gets disintegrated in the air. And Bees gets picked up, leaving Otto as the only player alive for a moment.
That didn't last very long. Caster's first
for a second, he was the only player alive.
Briefest of moments. But yeah, both medics are having a pretty rough time of it right now, but not that that matters. The sword men are doing the sorting, and there's a lot of kills.
A pause, it appears, yeah? Or
no, server end.
A server
which
issue
makes me think that the game might be over, actually. Let me just check in with some of the teams.
It could very well be the case, actually, yeah. Given what we were currently seeing, it's not unlikely to assume that they might have ended the game and closed the server immediately. But yeah.
Okay, yes, I have confirmation there. It's 5-0 to Scoundrels. And Scoundrels are your champions.
Bit of an anticlimactic end there, but, you know, I guess a quick end is better than a painful, slow death.
And it
which is
was
what we were witnessing for about 1.5 hours. But
it was a slow death. There were some high points there for the gamers of Extra Solar's crew of Demoknights XD. But when it came down to it, I think we commented on it quite a few times, but there was just much better coordination from charge coordination coming out from Scoundrels, particularly from Yellow and Hellish. We're doing a lot of very nice counter charges whenever Ubers and the like were coming through. So
almost like a very coordinated flank. Yeah, very, very fun to watch those two guys just coordinate their attacks. We didn't comment on it much, but they pull a lot of weight, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, they definitely were. I mean, we were accused in chat, I did see that, of saying a bit too much about Odin, but it must be noted as well, Mad's 2 double dunk drops on the second map were sick as well. Hopefully one of them got clipped. It would be nice to watch back. But, it's just interesting to see the game that we know and love being taken in a different format that we're seeing here in this league. And it's a hell of a lot of fun to watch and to play.
Absolutely. I can second that. It's refreshing to see a change of the formula like this, especially when it's this fun. We've seen different tries on the formula, different quote unquote meme formats that try to switch up sixes, but none of them are as enjoyable long term to watch as this one. This one's definitely one of the most original ones, in my opinion.
I really liked the use of Soldier as well by both teams. Both the Yak and Hoy had their moments in the sun. Particularly Yak in the second map was doing so much work.
Yeah, he was laying down the pain on the enemy team.
Sorry, and then something else as well, the two different strats that they were using. Yak was using a reserve shooter, actually, for most of that game.
I did see that, yeah.
It's a very interesting idea, because it's quite easy to levitate people yourself with your rockets in this game mode.
Especially, yeah, if they're not going to be really doing much against you and they're always in your melee range, you're going to be likely to get easily juggled. And then you have a quick shot there with the rescue ranger, actually not rescue ranger, reserve shooter. A very, very good use of that weapon. Wasn't expecting to see much of that, but now that we think about it, and we saw
the other
it
thing as
play.
well, actually, is hit scan. Well, any damage does slow down charges, so
Also
just
true,
whip out the reserve shooter and get shooting people. But at the
Just a
same
little bit
time,
of chip.
the battalion's backup was so good for Scoundrels. It's just nice to see.
It essentially allowed
things.
them. It essentially allowed them to just bounce back after an Uber, build it during an Uber. Once the Ubers are over, they have like a mini pocket Uber right after that they can just use right away and clean up the fight. It worked out very well for them.
Well, I think that's probably it for this evening. Scoundrels are your Season 1 champions of KnightComp League. Do we have any shoutouts, Cerny?
Shoutouts to all of the people that organized this league, specifically the people that I know, like Solar and Logic, for instance, doing a lot of work on making sure that this works every week, even though, maybe things have not been smooth occasionally, who knows? From what I've heard, at least. Obviously, shoutouts for letting me be here as well, casting this, even though I don't usually cast anything, so that's fun. I had fun. I had a lot of fun watching this game, so that was fun, yeah.
It was very, very nice. Same for me. Shout out to the fine people who have made this possible, because it's a hell of a lot of fun. People have had fun playing. It's great stuff all around. Specific shout outs to Solar, who of course has done a lot to help us get this cast going, and the league in general, and to popularize Demoknights as well. You're a good folk. Shout out to Logic. You're cool. And I suppose just a reminder for you guys that what you saw today was the EU final of Season 1 KnightComp, but there is the potential for the NA final to be casted as well. Keep an eye out on announcements, Twitter, etc. KnightComp League TF2 on Twitter, I think it is. And sign up for yourself for the next season. There will be a next season, I hope, in a few months' time. From everyone here, good night.
Goodbye.